we are constantly telling people to divide yourself between 3 or 4 pillars. The first one is always going to be what you do for a job or what service you provide. The second one is going to be who you are, what makes your personality and you stand out from the rest, and how you are different from other competitors in that same area.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In the House podcast. I'm Toni Singh.
And I'm your co-host, Jenny Woon.
And we have 2 special guests on with us today who are also in Vancouver, not too far from where we are. Jamie Bergman and Dana Muscat, co-founders of Socially Acceptable Social Media Management and Training. And you guys help brands and real estate pros leverage their Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you ladies give us a little intro about how you started and founded your business, which I understand is on the newer side, right? 2021?
Yes,
yeah,
that's correct.
give us our listeners a little bit more about your journey and how you started the business and what you guys do.
Sure. So first and foremost, I want to apologize for my voice. I have been recovering from a bit of an illness, so I've been working really hard with our course as well. So a little bit.
Thank you
for
coming on.
Yeah, of course. So a little bit about how Dana and I came to be social media managers starts with our primary or former focus in real estate specifically. I was in property management for about 14 years locally here in Vancouver, and was using the power of Instagram to leverage my business, get new clients, as well as market the properties that I was renting out, and found extreme success in that department. So on top of that, I built another business just through the word of mouth and from the powers of Instagram for home organization. So 2 totally different worlds, but both methods with using Instagram were proving to be extremely successful. So we wanted to join forces and create a company that helped real estate professionals do the same.
That's awesome.
Yes, I was in the background of just flipping houses from a fairly young age. I grew up with horses, being a professional barrel racer, and it was getting a little bit too much stress. So my dad gave me the option to sell my horses and buy a townhouse when I was 19. So I did that, and then just kind of kept flip-flopping and thought I wanted to be a real estate agent. Then realized I didn't, and just realized how much a lot of them need a bit of help on their Instagram page, and what a great area to bring out my creative side. I worked in interior design and color theory, color expert, that type of thing. So it's super fun because typically real estate agents like to use different colors, and I like to have lots of fun getting their personalities to show through that.
That's so fun. What a journey.
Yeah, and we've heard your professional side, personal side. Can you tell us what your spirit animal is?
Oh, I took the quiz. I took this quiz already.
What is it?
I took a quiz online one time. My spirit animal is a stag, actually.
A stag?
Interesting. What are
Like a stag, like a deer, like a male version of a deer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
why does it make sense? Like,
Yeah,
tell us why.
let's explore.
Just because she's a little sassy. Like if you had to say that Jamie's a bit of a bull, like,
Maybe.
well, like, take life by the horns kind of thing is what I'm meaning. But like, she doesn't take any crap. How about that?
Perfect.
And yourself, Dana?
That's
What's
hilarious.
your spirit
A
animal?
stag. Well, it ain't a stag. I love dogs. I grew up with horses, but they were always a business for me. I love dogs. So I guess a dog. Boo. You know who my spirit animal is? This dog right here. If I were to come back as a dog tomorrow, I would be him and he is me. The poor thing is me,
Aw.
the dog body. So
And for those who are tuning in by YouTube and Instagram, what's your dog's name? Who's next to you?
This is Boo, and Possum is sleeping on the bed across from us.
Aw,
okay.
that's so cute. Okay, so ladies, if we're getting into it, what is a common myth about your job or field of expertise?
Yeah, so a common myth is that when it comes to leveraging Instagram specifically for real estate is that it only has to be about real estate. And what we found is that when someone's logging into their Instagram account to look at their feed and explore new possible accounts that they're wanting to follow, you have to give more than just what you do for a career through your Instagram page. And a lot of real estate agents that we work with, a lot of real estate pages that we are coming across on a daily basis, fail to recognize that the personal the personal component is something that makes you special and unique. And for whatever reason, they don't feel that it is necessary maybe, or they don't feel that it's important to share that side of their business through Instagram. It's not as stuffy as one might think. So that's a myth that we're constantly trying to break down the barrier of.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to divide it beyond just the listings and about real estate, how would that look like on a pie chart? Like, how would you break that percentage up?
So I would say for your main pill, so what we do is we deal more with content pillars rather than you could do a pie chart, of course, but
Okay.
we do content pillars. So whenever we're working with a new client, even if it's for our own projects and our own social media strategy too, for socially acceptable, we are constantly telling people to divide yourself between 3 or 4 pillars. The first one is always going to be what you do for a job or what service you provide. The second one is going to be who you are, what makes your personality and you stand out from the rest and how you are different from other competitors in that same area. The third can be something a little bit more fun that is to do with your personality. For us, it's socially acceptable. It's our Sam fam. So our dogs, my kid, we get that type of involvement on our page to really draw other points of interest and other people that are interested in those aspects to our page. And then the fourth one is also the education behind it. So you want to position yourself as an expert in the industry that you work in and not only just focus on this is what I've listed, this is what I've sold, show the journey behind it.
Mm-hmm. I've been working with a lot of agents on trying to give them a lot of direction on content creation. And so I often give them like blank, like Google Sheets or like a content calendar where it's a template and they can just fill in what that month looks like. But they often find it's a little bit overwhelming. So how would you kind of give some tips on how they can get started without feeling the overwhelm of having to fill the calendar out fully?
Yes. I think too, doing a whole month, looking at it at a month is hard. Even like for us creating content for so many different accounts, I do it in a little week chunks, intervals. Thank you. And, I think as soon as you go, unless you're doing a tip Tuesday every Tuesday, great, throw those in. But I think that doing it just in smaller chunks is better because you don't just want to be creating content to just create content that's not going to resonate with anybody. And it's just, you're just posting it to post. We always say, if you're just doing that, then throw something on your stories and get your face on camera or show your coffee shop you're in that day. Don't just post something on your grid because it's going to live there. You don't want to be deleting it constantly. The algorithm doesn't like that. You want it to stay there. You want it to live there and get that engagement throughout it. So jump on your stories that day. Take it just a week at a time. And Mondays are kind of the content creation day here. But during the week, anytime I have an idea, I jot it down, put it in my phone in the notes, or throw it into the content calendar for that specific client.
Another thing too is like people always get this sudden burst of motivation as well to say, I'm going to post 5 days this week and get on my stories and do this right. Great. That's an awesome goal to have, but how sustainable is it? So when we're talking about a schedule or posting schedule that might work well for one person, it might not work well for the next realtor because their schedules are so different in terms of demand. So a good rule of thumb here is to start with something very small, very manageable, and do 2 posts a week. Those can be heavily curated, heavily concentrated on really good quality information. And also you can take the time that is required to plan out your caption, have all of your hashtags set, and really get that quality video or photo content with the amount of time that you have, with that little pressure zone of only doing 2 posts that week. Like Dana said, hop onto your stories 5 days a week if you have the energy for it. But when people do make the commitment to themselves, really, of saying, I'm going to do 5 posts this week, we see it so often that they burn out. 2 weeks later, they have no idea what else to post. They're burnt out. They don't have the time to engage, and they are unsuccessful in terms of seeing potential growth from it. We always say social media is the long game for that reason. You want to be consistent with your posting schedule. The algorithm doesn't really like it if one week you post 22 posts and the next week you post 2. So you really want to find that balance that's going to work well for yourself.
Mm-hmm. The 3 E's: emotion, education, and entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah.
So what have you found resonates best for the followers, the people who follow realtors?
I think, speaking personally, people hire realtors that they would maybe want to hang out with, maybe be friends with. You're not going to typically work with a realtor because you're spending a lot of time with them that you really don't like or have absolutely, no connection there at all. My realtor that I used, he's a buddy. I'd want to hang out with him, but he wasn't when I first met him, So I think that really showing your personality on your page. Our Instagram pages are our business cards now. I was just saying, my boyfriend's at Tom Ferry in Las Vegas right now. He doesn't even have a business card anymore. He has a QR code on his phone that takes him to his link tree, and everything you would ever need to know, plus his intro video of him talking, what his name is, it's all right there. You're going to figure out real quick if you resonate with that person at all, or if you're like, you get a good sense of someone. So I would say personality and really showing who you are and your funny side, your serious side. Let people see that as your business card.
Yeah, so really just getting that mix of the 3 E's. So that's kind of the emotional and entertainment side combined with the education. You want to position yourself in a way that highlights your expertise in the industry, but also, like you said, you want to be highlighting the fact that, hey, I go snowboarding too. You can find me on the mountain when I'm not in and selling houses. And maybe somebody up on Mount Seymour or Grouse is going to see that and say, hey, I've seen him before. I'm going to use him as my realtor. Mm-hmm. So it's a really big thing to have all 3 of those components in equal values spread amongst your content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you guys finding to be your biggest challenge in your role or business right now?
We were talking about this right before we hopped on too. So we just launched our course, Instagram 101, the workshop for realtors. Mm-hmm. And in terms of time management for ourselves, finding time within our own schedules to create content for our own social media is a challenge because we're so focused on our other clients and really doing our absolute best to create content that is excellent for them and grow their pages and ultimately get them the leads that they're hiring us to get for them. We find that it's a bit of a struggle to keep our own social media pages active to a scale that we preach others to do.
Yes,
for sure. That would be hard.
Is key.
I'm wondering, when you guys say growth, because what does growth look like for an Instagram account? Because does it mean additional followers? Does it mean conversion, more meaningful interactions? When you're saying growth, what do you mean by growth?
I heard your mouth open. I think it's different for everyone. Some of our clients, they want to reach 10,000 followers. We always make sure to ask why, because, those 10,000 followers can do less for you than those 500 really great active followers, right? So it depends. it's just different for everybody. We also, I think our biggest goal is getting within the community, within hashtags, within tagging, within local companies, and getting people to see them that haven't before, and having them reach. Yeah, increasing reach and getting them to potentially become a client. So that's kind of, personally, I'd say for me, like that's my goal when they want to grow. As for just followers, that's pretty much a game of engagement, and that's just hours, time and hours of just engaging, having those connections with other followers.
Yeah, and like you said, when someone's asking to grow, we just need to dive a little deeper into that question when we're doing our consultations, to say there's many different ways to grow, in quotes, on Instagram, whether that be through follower count or reach, or if you only want or don't really care about your follower count, but you have 200 amazing followers, maybe your goal is to grow in a way that produces more engagement on the content that you're posting. So what we mean by engagement is more likes, more conversations started in your DMs, more comments, more shares, and more saves. So you can get that growth and see those numbers increase on a month-to-month basis, even if you have 200, 500, or 20,000 people. So there's plenty of different ways to grow on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you.
You mentioned that one of your biggest challenge was working on your own Instagram. So are you more wanting to just gain more realtor clients to manage the social media? Or are you more wanting to put out the training programs and do more workshops? And maybe you could do both, but I'm sure this business also works on referral with you guys. Like lots of realtors are always asking other realtors, hey, who's taking care of your social media? So I'm sure some of your business is a major part of is referrals.
Yeah. I would say the backbone of it is our social media management and really connecting one-to-one with clients. The course has always been something that I personally was focused on and really wanted to bring that to fruition for 2022. In the beginning stages of our business, we were really focused on creating that content, establishing who we are, and telling others that it is imperative, it's from a real estate perspective, to have an active Instagram account. And so managing clients is kind of the backbone. And then we're adding on the education portion to this in order to expand in a way that is not so many hours necessarily connecting with individual clients, but able to help people on a broader scale.
What would you ladies say is the biggest misunderstanding or misconception about using Instagram for real estate purposes?
Oh, you have a big one for this.
I think that a lot of realtors, not as many anymore, but a lot of realtors have just the headshots or the sold, listed. When I was just in Mexico, and I took a video of walking past the agency in Cabo, and it was like just the listed, and I was like, this is what so-and-so's Instagram page looks like. Like, me and Jamie will have a little chuckle, because it doesn't show anything. It doesn't show anybody. And we all know that you're a real estate agent, and that it doesn't do anything for you to show all the sold. The listed, yes, you're showing that listing, absolutely. But when it's just straight, your entire grid is just that, that's what we call not socially acceptable kind of thing. And we really try to get away from just the headshot on every photo and the overlays.
They're fine to sprinkle in, but in terms of like a misconception, the misconception from a realtor's perspective or a real estate professional's perspective is that is what clients and potential followers want to see. Right. And we beg to differ.
No, that makes sense. I have a question about the solds though. So do you think that once in a while the sold posts are important though, to show that you can actually get results for clients, or would that so just not as often, the frequency then?
No, I mean, also a great place to hold those solds is in a highlight folder.
Okay.
So someone can click in those. Sure. Those live forever, and they're in a nice tidy little circle at the top of your page, and they can click and see all the solds and all the listed. Well, your grid still looks great, but of course, post a sold now and again. It also depends what you're really looking for. Honestly, some of our clients really like the look. We tried to guide them in another way of not so many overlays, and they've gotten They've seen it now. They've seen a bit of the light. But at the beginning, it was a bit of a struggle because they think that they need their logo on everything. But everybody knows who you are. They're on your page. They know who you are. So sprinkle them in. Absolutely. Use, you paid for that those great logos. So use them, but just sprinkle them in and use those highlight folders for the listed, for the solds, and put them in your stories too. Be proud of them. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I kind of noticed that you don't create the personal branding, right? Like you don't create the graphics or anything. You just do the social media management.
No, it's different for every client. Yeah. We don't do logo creation specifically, but we do all of our own graphics. We get our clients to give us all of their branding assets. So if they've chosen a font, if they have different colors and they have a logo and headshots, when we first start working with a client, we ask them for all of those assets. But then Dana here, our color theory expert, dives a little deeper into that.
Yeah, they typically end up we'll give them options. Like, do you like stain, if blue and pink are your colors, we'll stay with that, but maybe slowly morph it into something that just looks better. They're like, wow, actually that is great. We have the ability to play with that on all those fun apps. So.
Yeah, no, the colors are important for sure. I've noticed from scrolling people's feeds sometimes, I'm like, oh, they didn't integrate it in. You guys mentioned algorithms. A lot of us are always wondering when is the best time to post. So day, night, does that matter, or is it the consistency of when you're posting that matters most?
There are lots of different factors that are all going in to feed the algorithm different bits and pieces of information. A question that we get all the time is my phone listening to me? And we say yes, but not in the way that you might think. So the way that you are behaving on the app really does dictate how the algorithm responds to you, as well as pushes your content out to your followers or to the explore page. So when you're asking about when the right time to post is, we always say it's when you actually have time to dedicate to engaging. So that is going in and liking and commenting and watching stories, reacting to stories, answering all of your DMs 15 minutes before you post, posting your scheduled content, and then also having 15 more minutes on the app on the other end of that in order to engage. There's another tool that you have in your professional dashboard. If you take a look from your profile page, click into professional dashboard, and you click onto the bar graph there, it shows you all the followers that you currently have. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it'll give you another graph where it says when those followers are on at their most active day and their most active time during those weekdays or weekends. So you want to be posting at least 15 minutes before that peak time, because the algorithm then has a chance to see your content. You will hopefully be active before that as well. And then once those followers come on to say 12 o'clock p.m. on their lunch break, that might be, and hopefully might be the first piece of content that they are seeing when they open the app. So there's easy metrics that you can look at within your app and professional dashboard to see when the most reasonable times are for you to be posting throughout the week.
Awesome tips, guys. Thank you.
Gotten into that yet. Well, I have a marketing team that handles all of that.
Yes.
But I didn't realize that there's so many tools on the back end. What's your most favorite productivity hack you can offer to the agents? Because I'm sure you're not chasing the agents. You're not going out and abouts and recording these agents or taking photos. So what would be the best way to optimize their time, getting you the content that you need so that you can turn it into a post?
Yes. So we always tell our clients B-roll. We want you to film everything and anything and send it to us. We will chop it up and make something of it. More is better. Just even if you're just having your morning coffee, put your phone up. We can fast forward it. But yeah, B-roll when you're walking through a house, you're going on a showing, you're walking into an open house, you're walking down the street with your dog. B-roll. It's just a lifesaver. We do offer a VIP service where we come in and make reels. So if we have a agent that has, we've actually done this for other businesses that aren't real estate agents as well. If they don't know how to make reels and that kind of thing, we'll come and we'll, give you all the prompts to film those popular reels that everyone's doing like whatever,
The
the
pointing,
the whatevers.
Yeah.
And also get photos and get a whole bunch of reels for you. So it is nice that we do have that option as well, because some people just don't want to learn. They don't care, and they're like, come and do it and then post it. Like,
yeah, they're too busy.
And some people don't like Instagram, and that is fair, but they realize that they do need to be active there, right?
They see the value.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, for that VIP service, how much does that cost? Is it hourly or is there a package? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have a package that is about 4 hours long. You get both Dana and I on site. We bring all of the tools and our ring light, like our gimbal, our phones, microphones, and prompts are discussed in advance of the session too. So we work with clients that have sometimes out of their home. We've done it out of presentation centers as well, where we're working with the agent, and then they are with us for a solid 4 hours. So solid 4 hours. It takes a little bit of time to do the editing, but it is a $7.99 package that we offer, and then you walk away with that session with content galore. So the client walks away with all the raw footage, but then we also are creating proper reels, proper static photos that are all edited and ready to be posted with audio pairings and cover photos for those reels so that the person can take it and run with it. If someone just wants to do a VIP content day, they're not our client for social media, that's totally fine. They just need to have that dedicated session to create, and then we hand it off to them in a nice, pretty little package.
And
that's
also
amazing.
the long form video. We find that that's really important. We get them to do a nice long form video, about 2 minutes. And we typically get them to do that at the top of their Instagram grid. So people, as soon as they jump on there, it's them talking about themselves, and you instantly know who Dana is and that she loves dogs.
So that's a really great package to offer, because I would fall in the category of, I don't want to learn how to do it. I don't love social media. And I also recognize that it's important these days. So just speaking to profiles and Instagram pages in general, are there any things that you guys have seen that just make a profile completely cringeworthy, or you're like, oh, nope, that was not a good idea?
She already touched on it a little bit, but when you're only seeing, like, don't get me wrong, we pay a lot of money for branding when it comes to headshots. Some people do them annually or twice a year. It's just not something that needs to be on the bottom left corner of every single post that you make. People know who you are, and if they're following you, the chances are you've got your profile photo as well, which should be of a person, not a logo. And yeah, it just looks very cheesy in a sense. It can really kind of cheapen someone's Instagram account, because if you take a look at an interior designer's Instagram page, you don't see their shining face in the corner of every single one of their shots that they take of their work. We want to let the work speak for itself. Instagram is a super visual platform, and when we are intrigued at a beautiful hood fan over a stove that is maybe that beautiful Wolf appliance, and that is possibly the focal point, there doesn't need to be my face in the corner saying, hey, look at this stove. Like, people are already looking at stove. So, or look at this picture. So that would be cringy. Another thing would be not optimizing a bio. The bio is searchable for keywords. So we want to optimize that for SEO, and you only have a certain amount of characters within that bio. So if someone's cluttering it up with a bunch of emojis galore that don't really tell who you are and what you do, it's basically just noise on your page. So that can be kind of icky to look at too.
Good tips.
Yeah.
What's your icky thing?
I'm constantly sending Jamie. I do a lot of the engaging and stuff around posting. And so, I see hundreds of agents' pages a day. And oh man, I'm always sending them. But yeah, definitely the one that I just saw.
Cover photo. Like the
cover photo, bad reel cover photos. Well, when there isn't a cover photo on a reel, so it's like half a word or half a face because they don't know how to, or don't know to do the cover photo, which is an honest mistake. My boyfriend didn't know that till that long ago, and he finally hired us. I'm like, thank you. But I, don't want to step on anybody's toes there. But I saw one just the other day, and it was a guy, and he was like just like every photo, it was just his body though on top of like a house. And he was like every photo, I was like, oh no, this poor soul. But they don't, honestly, a lot of our clients, they don't realize because they just don't know. And then once you show them the other side, they see the light and they see how people are now engaging and they actually like and they're like, you were right, but we do have to like, we tread lightly, but we also like to push a little, like I said, bull there. And, but we do like to say like, we hear what you're saying. However, like, let's just take a baby step and just, you know, do it like this. So
or add something also into the content mix.
Yes, yeah.
That's beside that maybe doesn't have your headshot in it.
Yeah, but that one was good. The guy standing there, I was like, who is allowing this? Like, that's just like, it was pretty funny. I mean, you know what? It caught my attention, so maybe he's got something figured out there.
Yeah. How would you recommend converting the follower to an active client? Because that's the biggest struggle, is this hamster wheel of constantly posting, but there's just no return on the investment of time.
Yeah, I think that's a really big part of it too, is that you are always going to get less back than you put in when it comes to social media. And that can be a really difficult thing for people to understand and get on board with because it is so time consuming. I mean, heck, that's why we have jobs. That's why we are managing other people's accounts, because they don't have the adequate amount of time to see those results. And like you said, the hamster wheel, you're constantly on it. It's a long game, and you have to maintain that consistency to see any type of results. It's just like working out at the gym. You cannot expect to work out for 2 weeks and suddenly you go and enter a competition for a bodybuilder. Of course, you need to take all of those long-term steps, those long-term goals, and that takes like 6 months to a year, I would say, before you're really going to see any true impact and change significant from where you started. But it all starts with optimizing your profile as a whole. That is a really big part of our onboarding process, is dissecting someone's profile from all the way to their Instagram handle, their name, their bio, their links, and all of their colors, as well as their profile photo. It takes a lot of energy for someone to stumble onto someone's page and actually not only scroll through their content, but hit that follow button. You have minimal amounts of time for them to be able to hit that button. So if you're doing all things right, you have a higher chance, but it's never a guarantee. So it is kind of a hamster wheel in that sense. But once in a while, when you are doing all of the right things, like connecting with people in your DMs and actually engaging on things that are outside of real estate, the hope or the chances increase that they're going to think, hey, I chatted with Jenny about iced coffee in Crescent Beach. She gave me a great recommendation for a coffee shop. I'm going to go and search her. I think she's a real estate agent. I want to go buy in Crescent Beach. I'm going to contact Jenny. So it's that type of connection outside of what you actually do as a service or a product in some cases too, that is probably more likely going to be fostering that reach out or that outreach from a potential client than just showing that you've listed and sold a couple houses.
For sure. Reels seem to be all the rage these days. So if you ladies were to give 3 top tips for making a successful reel, what would those tips be?
Go ahead.
You know, one is the cover page.
Yeah, the cover page
photo.
You said.
Yes, cover photo is so huge. Oh my goodness, I don't even. And you know what? What the wild part is a lot of the people, a lot of social media management companies post reels without the cover photo being lined up. Like, it's really amazing. But having just a quick side note is the algorithm still really likes it when we really try to say, like, keep the video footage, of course, but still do the static post, still do the carousel post. The algorithm really likes it. They don't want to just see videos straight across either. So still definitely keeping those. But yeah, definitely cover photo is huge, huge, huge. And I think that worrying about the trending audio and that kind of thing, it is important, but it's not as important as you think. It's the engagement around it. What tips do you have?
Yeah, I would say the number 2 thing, aside from a cover photo, the number 2 is that 90% of a successful post, whether that's a reel or a graphic post or a static post, is about the engagement. So that 15 minutes before, that 15 minutes after is super impactful regardless of the type of content. And then aside from that, when it comes to video content for reels, it can also be a mix of static photos that are turned into a reel too. You need good quality content. So that means utilizing your phone. Your big thing with that is always wipe your camera lens before you film anything, and do everything that you can to set yourself up for success in terms of taking that quality content. So there are many different apps that you can use to really elevate your content too. We use CapCut or InShot, as well as Lightroom for some light photo editing that can really make that photo cohesive to the rest of the pictures on your page. And that is hugely impactful for creating that consistent, beautiful look when someone lands on your profile. So number one is get that cover photo onto your reel. Number two is excellent quality content. And number three is absolutely engaging before an offer. And a call to action if we could add number 4 in there.
Sure.
Okay. Yep. Can always. Tips on TikTok. Any thoughts on that?
So we do not position ourselves as experts on the TikTok algorithm by any means. Our primary focus is definitely still Instagram, the OG of the social media world. But when it comes to TikTok, we do repurpose some of our content from Instagram onto our TikTok platform and encourage our clients to do the same. So it might not be the exact same in terms of how much time you actually need to spend engaging. There are different factors that go into TikTok specifically. And we also find that TikTok is a great way to bring people to other platforms that you are working on. Yeah. TikTok is not really a place where you're going into your DMs and chatting. Right. It's more of a place to stop somebody in their tracks, stop that scroll, have them get curious and maybe read the caption or click onto your page, and in your little bio for TikTok say, find more of me on Instagram, or sign up for my newsletter, visit my website, any type of those call to action. That's where you're going to see that conversion.
Okay.
How do you ladies feel about spending money on sponsored ads for Instagram? And are there any metrics that you can use to elevate the success of an ad?
Yes. So fun fact, for one of my other business accounts that I run personally, I was actually blocked from creating ads for a year and a half for no reason whatsoever. I reported it, I'm not even lying, every single day for 400 days. And randomly, suddenly, it just came off that I was allowed to. So the misconception is that people are required to make ads and buy promotional posts in order to be successful on Instagram, and that's simply not true. If you wanted to run a promotional post, a tip that we have is to do it from the back end of your Facebook business page or your Meta business suite instead of doing it from Instagram. For whatever reason, it just seems to perform a little bit better when you do it straight from the back end as opposed to just what's called boosting a post. And we've seen a lot more success that way. I can't speak to exactly why, but we've just seen more success that way. Also, it has to do with your budget too. So if you're looking at Instagram specifically and you only want it to run on, say, Facebook and Instagram, you're just making sure that you are doing, what was the rule with them there? Like
it was
$9 or something? Or
I think too, what I have learned from it is if you only have $10 a day for a post or for a week, throw more money at it for, if you could run an ad for one day for $100 and it's going to get that much more reach rather than making that $100 expand for a week or 2 weeks. Throw that $100 at it, put it up for a day, and it's going to be a lot more successful than having that little amount trickle out for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
another thing when it comes to promotional ads too is that we just went over our analytics a month ago now, but for the month of December specifically. The month of December is constantly going to be favoring anybody that's doing promotional posts for product or service-based businesses, not typically real estate, but anybody that's going to be making that push for Black Friday sales, Christmas, and Boxing Day. So that is something that we saw a huge drop for most of the accounts that we manage in terms of engagement as well as success on ads because so many ads were being created and pushed during that month leading up to Christmas.
What a great tip.
Yeah.
So yeah, we throughout the whole last 30 minutes, we talked about all the services. You got Instagram 101. What's your next date on that, by the way?
We just launched yesterday. We launched our course yesterday. That's why my voice is like this.
And so
Congratulations.
So it's not just a one-time workshop. It's
No.
a series.
This one it's not a live course, so you own it. You can go back and do it 10 times over. We give you homework, so it's about 4 hours worth of work, and you walk away with knowing how to use Canva, knowing how to use InShot, having your page basically set up, so you can go back and refresh or take as long as you want. So you could have bought it yesterday, you can buy it in a year from now. It doesn't matter. That course is always going to live. And we're just going to, anytime there's an update, we'll go in the back end and update it to keep you up to date. But yeah, the course we have live workshops once a week with anybody that's enrolled with our students, so they can show us their work and get any tips or tricks, and we help them out that way once a week if you have taken the course and have any questions as well. But yeah, it's forever. Once you own it, you own it. You can go back in it and take it 10 times if you want.
We actually have a gift for you guys too to share with your viewers.
Oh.
We have a promo code. It is, it's in the house. It's just the promo code. Anybody gets 20% off of the course, the cost of the course. So in the house, 20% off of the course.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
That's a great surprise.
Yeah.
We definitely want a series of courses, though.
Yeah, I mean,
this is number one.
This is number one. I have something in the works, being that my background is in property management. There might be something coming out in terms of managing properties locally and afar. So that's
huge.
Our next endeavor.
There's a deficit there that's missing.
Definitely, yeah. Then you have the all-in-one social media management. You have the signature and the premium. And what's the difference between the two?
The two packages. Yeah. So we have our Sam Light package, which is our starter package. It includes up to 3 to 4 posts per month, per week, as well as signature story slides. So that means that they're customized and branded to you. And then also hours of engagement. And it includes all that profile optimization that we talked about. And then up from that is our premium package.
So basically the difference is how many posts you're wanting. We've found, though, that we've started doing custom. So you kind of go, hey, I'm looking more on the light side. And then we dissect from there. And if you want to add one more post, if you want to add more engagement or engagement hour, not even surrounding those posts, because it's typically you want to be on engaging every day, multiple times a day, but
even if you're not posting,
but people don't have time for that, rightfully so. And so we can kind of customize, but our premium package, I mean, that's just kind of double the amount of posts for the week, and then story slides as well. We also go into your YouTube and post on there, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, TikTok. We kind of customize packages. So we start with the 2 tiers and then find out kind of where they're comfortable, and then we can go down a little bit or up a little bit and find that sweet spot that works for each client, because they're all so different.
Amazing that you guys offer such customized packages. For the course that you just created, what would you say is the biggest lesson that is hugely overlooked by, I guess, amateur Instagram users or realtors?
Yeah, I would say it's really twofold. We have an excerpt in the course itself from our friend Ian. He is at Cedar and Spruce Films, and he is specific to real estate. He's based out of Squamish, but he does really amazing videography for realtors and going through their properties. So of course we wanted his input. He gave us an entire lesson on photo settings, camera settings for real estate specifically, as well as composition, and the tutorials on how to edit all of those videos are done by Ian. So that is from someone who has way more experience than both Dana and I when it comes to videography specific to real estate. So he has a whole lesson in our course. And also another big takeaway that people maybe don't really understand the inner workings of, or maybe a little bit intimidated to ask, is all about the Instagram algorithm. And people want to say that they know what it's all about. It is a forever changing beast of its own. And we are learning new things every single day. So we poured our heart and soul into that chapter of how the algorithm works and how you can train it to work in your favor and how you can kind of, quite frankly, anger it and make it demote your excellent content that you're working so hard on. So those are two really big takeaways, I would say, from the course itself, along with how to create a consistent posting schedule. You also get all of these downloads too in order to make your content planning and posting process that much more efficient. There's a branding color theory document in there. There is a hashtag bank. So there's so many different free resources that we've included within that course content that are yours to keep forever.
Are you screening agents before you take them on as a client, where maybe there's got to be a criteria of some sort?
Criteria, no, but we always do a consultation call because just like anybody working in any service industry, you want to make sure that you jive well with them.
I think though what we have had to, a lot of other social media management companies don't do the engaging, and so their prices reflect that. For me to post all of our clients in one day, that is for sure an 8-hour workday, because you know, we want to see the results and we see it firsthand, and it's so much fun to see it. But we have had clients that don't want to pay for the engaging, and we don't typically do that because that's, to us, that is like the most important part of it, really, is the engaging, depending on what you want. So I think that maybe that's the only thing, as long as
screening.
That's our screening, as you know, we're kind of a boutique, and we have a handful of clients that we treat like the VIPs that they are, and you know, they understand and appreciate what needs to go into that, and engaging is huge. So I think that's maybe our one thing. And you know, also we do have our it's private who our clients are, of course, but we also, if all they want is overlays across their entire page, I don't think
they're just not for us.
Our hearts couldn't do it.
Yeah, and it's more, that's more just like a screening, but also just sticking true and staying true to
what we
who
believe.
we are, and what our value, our core values are at socially acceptable media.
We're very passionate about it, and so you know, if they're fighting us on that and they don't agree, then they probably don't want to work with us either. You know, it goes both ways.
I was just going to use the word passionate. I could totally tell that you guys are really passionate about this.
Especially about engaging.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's
like
important.
10, 20 years ago, there would be no such job like this.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Isn't it amazing?
Totally. What are your big dreams for this
Well,
business?
speaking of that, it's like, I wish I would have started this 10 years ago, because we'd probably be at our big dream.
Okay.
A big dream of ours is to grow as an agency. We really want to bring on more people to be able to serve more clients in a larger capacity. And also for me, I want to be producing more courses that are under the real estate umbrella and Instagram world to further our reach and help more people that are not just local to Vancouver.
Yeah, I really give props to Jamie for this course. When she brought the course to me as an idea, I was like, you know, what? And she's like, yeah, we're doing it. And like so excited. And this entire time I'm just like, yeah, like it's amazing.
You did great.
I know,
really
but she really, I mean, she has no voice, so that goes to show, like, you know, Jamie, I mean, I poured my heart into it, but Jamie poured her soul into it. She's really, really passionate. So her wanting to do more and more courses, that's amazingly exciting. I'm like, maybe can we wait a few months?
Yeah.
You guys are a good team. I think it definitely shows.
You know who we should recommend them to?
Who?
Cheryl.
Oh, totally.
So we're going to recommend you to Cheryl because Cheryl Funston, she's the coordinator.
I know her.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You should talk to her.
I know.
You
She does framework events, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I the one in May, I'm not sure if she's filled all the spots, and the theme is about bloom. So I don't know if this topic will fit. However, if you want to come on the real estate board courses, I'm pretty sure that this topic would be a hit with a lot of the agents.
That's so funny that you mentioned that, Jenny, because like I said, working in property management for 14 years, you constantly have to do your continuing education courses and getting those credits. It would be a huge dream to be able to teach this in front of the real estate board, even as a online course, much like Legal Update is, to be able to get people involved and excited about social media, because as a managing broker yourself, you might not see all of the things that all of your agents are doing that are having your brokerage listed in their bio. And I can't even imagine how much work that would be for a managing broker to constantly be overseeing everyone's social media pages. And that is exactly why we started working with realtors specifically, is because they weren't behaving to our
They weren't
level.
socially
They
acceptable.
weren't socially acceptable. So and it's almost even more imperative because of the brand that it creates when you are working for, say, Century 21 or Remax or Prompton or whoever, Concord. It's like you want to represent your brokerage, your brand you want to hold yourself to a higher standard. And so that's what we push our clients to be able to do, and through the power of social media. So big fat dream, teach for the real estate board.
Can you tell?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Go.
Jamie and Dana, we normally round out our episodes with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Do you guys have a couple minutes
Yeah,
to
you're taking the lead on this.
participate? Okay. First question. Let's go with Dana first. What is a hidden talent of yours?
Oh, I'm a spin instructor and I'm obsessed.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Are you at Spin Society?
Yeah.
Or where? Okay. This is I guess.
Jamie, how about you?
Yeah.
A hidden talent. I can sneeze on demand.
What? I would love that talent.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that cool.
Well,
Okay,
'cause
sneeze now.
it is.
Oh
Wow.
Oh my
She can do, you know what? Because I'm always the person that needs to sneeze and can't.
You gotta look at the light.
Wow.
Squint your eyes, you're like,
We've Jamie, we've had people sing. We've had people we've had
You've
someone
made people
dance.
sing.
Yeah, made people sing. But this is the first time when someone had on demand sneeze.
That's definitely a hidden talent.
Yes, we're gonna put that in our show notes. Okay. Who and what IG account is your biggest inspiration?
Ooh. I have a lot, I
know.
would say. I mean, I love, like you said, I love Jillian Harris's account. She's so raw and so real, and she just comes on there as she is without makeup and just chats about her day. She's not afraid to say when she's made an error or two, and comes on to all of her fans and whatnot.
Do you think that's why she did so well? Like that she's done so well?
She's raw, she's vulnerable, and she does produce quality content as well as that, but she's not afraid to say when she has had a hard day. She's not afraid to go on and really connect with that individual. That's kind of another tip that we have, is that when you're talking to your camera, instead of talking to the number of followers that you have, because that can grow to be 10,000, 20,000. In Jillian Harris's case, it's up to like 2 million. Pretend that you're talking to one individual person that is watching your story, as opposed to a group, an auditorium, or a stadium full of 20,000 people. Talk to one person and it really will draw them in. And that's something that she does so well.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. 3 words to describe you. Dana.
caring, sassy, adventurous.
Okay. Jamie.
Passionate, driven, and I would say
Short.
Short.
Oh my. What are your favorite color trends to use for online branding?
See, I actually have a client. We have a client right now that her favorite color is purple, and I personally wouldn't do purple everything, but she wants purple everything, and I'm like living through her. I'm like, yes, like loving it. But I love like a deep forest green. I love a yellow. I love anything that's not white, honestly, right now.
Which is so opposite to me. I'm like, give me all the light, bright, white, mint green, baby.
Yeah, and I'm just like, let's do some bold colors. And you did those stories the other day to promote Ian, and they were like this deep green. And I was like, those colors. She's like, really? I was like, yes. I love them.
And finally, what are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful for each other. I know that that's so cheesy, but we found each other in kind of a kismet way to begin with, or reconnected in our later adult life. We knew each other when we were in our early 20s, like late teens, and we just reconnected, and I'm really grateful that I have such a great business partner. Yeah.
Aw.
That's so cheesy, I know.
And
hey, we're all about the cheese. We love it.
yeah, and no, and just for Jamie, she's really the pusher here. I'm very much I worked in law for 10 years, and Jamie pushes me. She pushes me constantly.
In a good way.
In a great way. Yeah. She's really pushy. Yeah. No, she's fantastic, and I need that. I need that personality to be like, we can do it. Cause I'm like, I know I can, but tell me I can.
You just gotta
yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm so grateful to be doing what I love teaching spin. I'm obsessed, and to be doing this with Jamie, for the first time, I'm always like, oh my gosh, like you're actually doing what you love. But I'm also superstitious, so I'm going to knock on wood because.
Just stick with your goals.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners find you?
On Instagram. We are,
of course.
Oh man, talk about cringy.
I know, I'm super cringy. Always on Instagram at Socially Acceptable Media. You can also log on to our website, which is www.sociallyacceptable.ca, and look at our blog. We have kind of a behind the scenes journal-esque style of blog there. You can get to know a little.
To see how we met. It's called From Exes to CEOs on our blog there. So
read that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, listeners, punch in the house when you are adding the courses to the cart. So you get 20% off by using that code. We so appreciate your time today. You guys are so fun to talk to, and looking forward to seeing you at the real estate board courses.
Yes,
we'll put it in good work then.
Or framework. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time, ladies.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank
we'll talk to you
you.
soon.